Hey everyone, Dr. Scott. I wanted to take a minute here to discuss an article that I just wrote because I think it's important that we jump in front of this conversation quickly. So yesterday, President Trump came out and made an announcement about cautions on the usage of Tylenol and potential links to autism. This is going to be a hotly contested, highly disputed conversation. So the article I wrote was to break this down for you. I think it's important when things like this that come out are because they're going to be controversial, because he's a polarizing figure. There's going to be so many different sides to it. It is going to be both politically charged, it's going to be scientifically charged. So, what I wanted to bring out to you is I wanted you to be able to look at everything from an objective perspective. So, if you read the article, that's what I tried to do as in a non-biased, non-political way, is just look at what the data says and then make your own decisions, because the most important thing that we as parents can do is see both sides. We can look at the available information, read the science, read the data, and try to put in context where all of the players come from, right? We know there's going to be things like there's, people who are going to say the science is good. There's going to be people who are going to say the science is bad. Let's look at the data and look at it. Let's also realize that there are interested parties. So when we can look at this from a more critical perspective, it gives us a little bit bigger thought process to say, okay, is there something to this? Maybe. Is there more to it? Very potentially. Are there potential people who have bias or conflicts of interest? Potentially. Let's look at it, have a conversation about it so that we can come at it from a perspective that's the most important, which is be informed. This way, as parents, as clinicians, we can make better decisions with the information. Then we can pick apart the science. We can pick apart the data and look at it and say, well, I have my own questions about this. Does this require further investigation? But at the end of the day, it's not about saying right or wrong. It's about saying, let's look at it. Let's start to pick it apart a little bit. And let's try to give us a perspective so we can have an informed conversation about this moving forward. Since there's already policy changes that are in place that are being made because the federal government felt that there was enough information, enough data to start to come out with public statements that drove this message. So take a look at it. I would love to get feedback. I would love criticisms and opinions. This was just to try to get something that would drive conversations from a perspective of just being objective. I'm not playing a side. What I'm trying to do is to try and start a conversation here to help us all to have something to work with so you can understand what the science said. So we're not just talking from perspectives of politics or like or dislike the guy in office. Doesn't really matter. What matters is ultimately what is happening to our kids, and are these things that may potentially show protective measures for kids in the future. So take a look at it from that perspective.